Good morning. Welcome to Oral Communications class. For this morning, before we start, let us first have Francine Kyle to lead us in the opening word of prayer. Francine, please lead us in prayer.
Yes, ma'am. Let us bow our heads to the presence of the Lord. Lord God, please continue to guide us in our daily doings and bless this class for what we are about to do today. We deeply thank you for the blessings we take for granted every day. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Francine. I'm so glad to see you all in this class. It's an opportunity that we can meet again and learn something new today. Last week, I have already assigned you the task, the readings in our LMS in GEL about the uh, types of speeches. And one of that is your impromptu speech and your picture analysis. Today, we will be discussing picture analysis and impromptu speech. And at the end of our lesson for today, you are supposed to deliver your own impromptu speech. So before we start, before anything else, I would like to invite you to join our quiz is and uh, interpret the images that you will be seeing in quiz is. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need you now to go to quizizz.com and then type in the game code 933991. In logging in and signing in, please use your family name first. Okay, so I'll be waiting for you to join the quiz using the game code 933991. So you're now here in quiz is. So shall we start? Ready? Begin. You'll see who is leading in the leaderboard. Okay, next question. So this picture is actually about abortion. You know, we are trying to erase someone, and that someone is a baby inside the mother's womb. If we want to look at the umbilical cord. Next. What is this photo about? This is about marine pollution. So this photo shows some trash, garbage on in the water. So this has something to do with marine pollution. Next. Okay, nice. So correct answer is ship collision. You'll become seafarers. So you know that this image has something to do with ship collision. Next. Okay. I know you can already see there the correct answer on your end in the quiz is. So the correct answer is pressure. So this woman is showing pressure. Next. The correct answer for that image is abuse. So let us see the score, the leaderboard. We have Buen in the third place, Lasibal in the second place, and Brose in the first place. Congratulations. Remember that this will be accumulated, your scores in quiz is, though this is not recorded, this your scores will be accumulated. Um, your scores, even from the past lessons, will be accumulated, and you might have a reward at the end of the quarter. What we just had a while ago in the quiz is our preparation for you in your interpretation of images, which I will be showing to you later. Remember that at the end of the lesson, you are expected to deliver your own impromptu speeches. And that is by analyzing and interpreting pictures. Don't worry, you will be guided on how to interpret pictures. You should already have an idea because you were already assigned to read uh, the lesson in our GEL, our LMS. So, as we have discussed last week, there are a lot of types of speeches. So we have, for the types of speeches, we have the impromptu speech, we have the extempo speech, we have the memorized speech, and we have the read speech. So these types of speech is according to delivery. So for this morning, we're just going to focus on the impromptu speech. So what is the impromptu speech? This type of speech is delivered with little to no preparation at events such as a wedding or a victory party. Because of this, an impromptu speech is usually short and casual. When you are asked by your teacher to share your reflection on a material the class has viewed or read, you are already about to give an impromptu speech. Similarly, you are to deliver an impromptu speech when you are called to say a few words after being surprised with an award or gift, or asked to share something about the newlyweds or about your friend who is celebrating his or her birthday. For impromptu speeches, instead of an outline, a few keywords may be written on a piece of paper to help you keep focused on your message. Impromptu speeches challenge the speaker to quickly organize his or her thoughts and verbalize them as clearly and coherently as possible. That is why impromptu speeches are usually delivered on occasions such as wedding, in which you greet the newlyweds, a send off party where you say your well wishes to whoever is leaving, or a funeral in which you eulogize or pay homage to the dead and recall happy moments with him or her. In some cases, as in oral communications and beauty pageants, impromptu speech prompts, sometimes in the form of question prompts, are given to a speaker in the form of a topic statement or question. So here are some sample question prompts for an impromptu speech. Number one, I'll be asking you, and you may choose to answer. Please use the raise hand button if you wish to answer, since this is an example of, I'll be giving you an example of an impromptu speech prompt. And if you wish to answer, that is already an example of an impromptu speech. Okay, so for example, how do you feel this morning? Who would like to answer that? How do you feel this morning? Anyone? Yes, Jer.
I feel sleepy, to be honest, this morning, but I am so excited to learn about this lesson, which Mom Joanna is the teacher. Since Mom Joanna is the teacher, I am excited and I find this lesson interesting.
Thank you, Jer. Anyone else who would like to share how they feel this morning? Yes, Ivan.
This morning I feel quite tired due to because I played basketball um earlier this morning, and right now uh, to be honest, I feel kind of tired and sleepy right now due to the fatigue that's built up this morning. That's all for my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're exhausted early in the morning. It's well, that's due also that you that's good that you're exercising early in the morning. That will actually help you in your in your that will help and that will boost your energy for the day. But you might really need some rest for a while. Okay, so that is an example, impromptu speech, asking you a question out of the blue and you answering the question without enough time to prepare is an example of an impromptu speech. Another, another example is, who is the love of your life and why do you consider him or her the love of your life? So remember that this might not only be um, referred to your lover, but who do you consider the love of your life? Would I would like to I would like to see a different hand, an answer coming from a different person. Yes, Francine.
I consider my mother as my love of my life because she raised me and provided for me to this day. And thanks to her, I've become a fine man.
Thank you very much, Francine. And last question for the example of um, our prompt, of our impromptu question prompt, is this question: why did you choose to become a seafarer? Anyone who would like to answer that? Why did you choose to become a seafarer? Anyone? Okay, Ivan.
I was inspired by a lot of stories, and I believe that seafaring is my calling. It's truly my calling in this life, and I believe that this profession would teach me a lot about life, and it also has a lot of benefits. Yeah, that's all for my answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. So those are examples of the questions that I gave you are examples of impromptu impromptu prompt, and your answers are already examples of impromptu speech. Again, you have little to no time to think about your answers, to organize your answers. Okay, so that is an example of an impromptu speech. As mentioned already, speech types may also be classified according to the amount of preparation involved. The impromptu and extemporaneous speeches allow for the least time to prepare, if not at all. An extemporaneous speech is delivered from an outline of keywords, phrases, or sentences, which the speaker then fills in with the details. The impromptu speech, on the other hand, usually gives the speaker little or no time at all for preparation. Picture analysis is one of the kinds of impromptu speeches being observed in the university. A student is shown an image to be analyzed and usually given 1 minute to deliver his analysis. Well, here are tips on how to analyze images in picture analysis. Number one, describe the photo. So mention what you see in the photo. You have to state the details. Number two, relate the photo with a larger issue, such as a social issue, examples of which are pollution, nature preservation, marine environment, drug-related deaths, tourism, mental health, AIDS, and a lot more. Number three, after Relating the photo with a larger issue, we have to identify the possible causes of the issue or of the problem. And number four, if we may suggest possible solutions for the government and the community. And number five, we have to also give out what we can do personally about the issue. Remember that when we are being shown a photo, our target is really to interpret the photo, and it would be best if we give our thoughts about it, if we can mention what we can do about what is presented to us. However, if the photo does not relate to an issue and portrays positivity or something else, we may opt to answer the following questions. Number one, what are the details in the photo? Number two, what is the photo really about? Or what do you think is the topic of the photo? Number three, what does it tell us about the present situation? We may mention the advantages, and the disadvantages. And fourth, what are our thoughts about the issue? So again, if it has something to do with an issue, number one, again, we may describe the photo, mention the details. Number two, relate it with a larger issue. Number three, identify the possible causes. Number four, suggest possible solutions for the government and or the community, and give out what we can personally do about the issue. If it has nothing to do with really an issue, but has something to do with a person, or it portrays positivity or something else, then we may just mention the details in the photo. We can just say what the photo is really about, what does it tell us, and what we think about it. So it's that simple. So these are guidelines. Remember that in the university, we're fond really of using picture analysis, but this does not only apply to the university. If there is an image being presented to us as what the as cliche as it may sound, a picture creates 1,000 words. Right? As the cliche says, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if there is a picture, then it would be best if we interpret it, if we reflect on it. So now we will have a sample analysis. Let me show you a picture. So I hope you can now see the picture that is being shared. And let me just take this in a perspective, your perspective as students of a maritime university. And if I were to give a sample analysis of the picture that is being shown, using also the steps that has been presented to you. So this is a sample analysis of the picture. The picture shows a lot of empty water bottles and plastic containers. These are trash, probably from irresponsible tourists or nearby residents. This portrays the people's negligence towards our ocean, which results to marine pollution. This, in time, will affect the kind of resources we get from our waters. A probable solution to this problem is the constant reminder of our people to become responsible to our nature. We have been given a wonderful surrounding by God. We also ought to take care of this, as we are stewards of God's creation. Moreover, I hope the government would impose stricter policies on those who contribute to the pollution of our waters. Frequent shore cleanup drives would also help clean our marine environment. As a future seafarer, I have been taught to value our marine environment, as it would become our future source of income. I advocate for cleaner and bluer waters. I will make sure to prevent any incidents that would contribute to marine pollution. For now, I will dispose my garbage properly and never ever throw away my trash to the sea or the shore. That is all. Thank you. So that is a sample speech. That is an example picture analysis. Let me show you our second photo. So this time we will be guided by the steps that we had been presented. the first step tells us to mention the details that we can find in the picture. So we may say that the picture shows one of the most detrimental problems in most of our urban places in the country, as this causes air pollution and sometimes fatal accidents. This is heavy to congested traffic. What is shown in the picture are cars, buses, jeepneys, motorcycles, and waiting commuters already on the first lane of the road. The vehicles, which are not properly in lanes, are in a very long line, which may probably extend meters or kilometers away. This is the usual scenario every rush hour. So let us go back to the steps. The first step is to mention the details, and the second step is to relate it to a larger issue. So we have already stated the details, and the larger issue is heavy to congested traffic. The next step would be identify the possible causes. So we may say the traffic and congestion might be caused by undisciplined drivers, motorists, and commuters. As we can see, a lot of cars are not on their lanes and are probably overtaking other cars as they get the opportunity, even though it is probably not safe. Even though most of the cities have in place for them policies in controlling the surge of vehicles, I think the government should impose a stricter policy on the abidance of our motorists. Moreover, the LTFRB should plan alternative routes, and BPWH should plan better road structures for ease of traffic. There should also be a policy which may control the commuters as they are already in the first lane of the road. So we have not only mentioned the possible cause, but I also presented the possible solution. My suggestion to the government and the community. And the last step would be to mention what I can personally do with regards to the issue. So, for example, as a student of JBLFMU Arevalo, we are taught to instill the core values of the university. And in me is inculcated the value of discipline. I may not do a lot now as I cannot drive yet. However, if I become a driver of my own car, I will make sure that I abide by the rules of the road. As a commuter now, I will show everyone and influence them to be disciplined while waiting for our transportation. So these are examples of picture analysis. Now, before I give you before you deliver your own speeches, let me walk you through the steps. Okay, so let me share again, this time the picture, and you have to identify what you can see in the photo. Let us use the guide, the steps in analyzing the photos. Can you see the picture now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us walk through the steps in analyzing this photo. Now, let me ask you, what are the details that you can see in the picture? Anyone? Yes, Arnoldson.
Heavy flood, and
Mhm.
heavy flood and empty water bottles floating on the flood.
Can you make that into a statement?
What I see, what the details I see in the photo are heavy flood and heavy bottles, plastics that are floating on the water.
Okay, what else can we see in the picture? Yes, Francine?
As shown in the photo, I can see a man, shoulders deep in the flood and the dirty water, carrying what seems to be her daughter in a pink T-shirt, holding her up high in order not to get wet.
Okay, thank you very much. So these are already what we can see in the picture, and this is step number 1. Now, step number 2. What do you think is the issue behind this picture? What is this picture about? Anyone? Yes, Hans.
I think this is due to a probable cause of a typhoon or a storm that had hit the suburban city, ma'am.
Yes, that's already step number 3. But what do you think is the photo about?
It's all about flooding, ma'am.
Yes, correct. So again, we have identified the details in the photo, and we have identified the larger issue, which is flooding. And you have already mentioned the third part, the probable cause. And you mentioned this may be due to typhoon.
Probable hit of typhoon, ma'am.
Yes, yes. And who would like to add something about the probable cause of this flooding? Who would like to add? Yes, Ivan?
The probable cause is drainages that are filled or that are that malfunction due to trash, overloading of trash.
Yes, that's very possible. So that's a possible cause. Now, the fourth step would require us to mention possible solutions. So, what do you think our solutions could be a solution to flooding, especially in places, possible solution to what you have mentioned, to the problem that you have mentioned, to the possible cause that you have mentioned a while ago. So what do you think could be a possible solution? Yes, Ivan.
I believe that the probable solution for this conundrum is that the government should provide more funds to create better drainages and to create what do you call this, projects that help avoid floods and such.
Okay, thank you very much. How about you, Jer?
I think the probable solution for this picture or issue is first is our discipline to ourselves that we must not throw garbage everywhere and throw it on the assigned place on the assigned object.
Okay, thank you very much. How about you, Rolf?
I think the solution, ma'am, is to avoid cutting trees and to avoid throwing our garbages everywhere, ma'am.
Okay, and Arnoldson?
For me, ma'am, the government should provide stricter laws about garbage disposal.
Thank you very much. You're actually, you provide giving me answers are already part of you delivering your impromptu speeches. But if we're going to summarize that later into one whole statement in less than 1 minute, that will be our picture analysis. Okay, so last step would be, what can you personally do about this issue? Okay, anyone? Yes, Kyle.
As a student, we may raise awareness in social media sites such as Facebook regarding flash floods and garbage disposal, as said by Mr. Ekoy. And through this way, we can spread information, and we won't have to experience the disadvantage brought by this occurrence.
Yes, correct. And thank you very much. Who else would like to answer? What can you personally do about this issue? No more? So we will move to the next one. Next step is that we consolidate all the things that you have mentioned into one whole statement, into one whole, if it's a writing, one whole paragraph. We're going to consolidate all the details from step 1 until step 5. So that will be your picture analysis. Who would like to present and summarize what you just have mentioned from step 1, the details, and step 2, relating this to an issue, step 3, mentioning the possible causes, step 4, what can be the possible solution, and step 5, what you can personally do about the issue. So who would like to summarize for this picture? Anyone? Yes, Ivan.
This picture depicts one of the consequences of human carelessness. We can see a man carrying a girl on his shoulder because of the high flood level. It is seen in the background that the location is most likely urbanized or populated, and floods aren't uncommon in these areas. It is seen in the photo. There is trash floating in the water that indicates that the major flood is caused by drainage obstruction. Deforestation is another reason that contributes to floods. The water retention capacity of the soil reduces as a result of deforestation. Rainwater gathers on the surface and resulting in floods. There are several strategies to prevent floods, and we must improve our drainage system, maintain sewage systems properly, and create campaigns that promote the prioritization of our environment. And as a young member of the society, I can use the social media platforms to give information, to spread and give information in preventing floods. I can also participate in a youth campaign that takes care of our environment. That's all. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. That whole speech is already your picture analysis. It's already a delivery of your own impromptu speech. Okay, so um, this is just practice for you. And later, before we end our class, you are going to pick a number, and then you are going to present your own speech in less than 1 minute. So you're going to choose a picture, and then you're going to interpret it using the steps that we just talked about. But these steps, let me just emphasize this, that these steps are just suggestions. We may opt to change depending on the picture that is being presented to us. The only the only goal for us is really just to interpret the picture. And we are guided by these steps, but we may opt to change the steps if we find better interpretation of the pictures and a better analysis of the picture that is being presented to us. So thank you very much. So let us now go to evaluation. You are going to experience, you have already practiced, we have already tried the different pictures. Now it's your turn to be assessed. Okay, so it's now time for you to deliver your own impromptu speech, for you to deliver, for you to analyze your the pictures. You are being shown 41 different photos, and then you're going to choose a number, and then that number course is has a corresponding picture, and you will not be given any time to think about your answer, but you will be given 1 minute to interpret the picture. So now it's time for us to evaluate what you have learned. I already sent you your rubrics. You have already read the rubrics, how you will be graded in your picture analysis, in your impromptu speech. So now it is time for you to deliver your own picture analysis. You will be presented, you are now presented 41 different pictures, and numbers 1 to 41, and you have to choose a number, and that number it has a corresponding picture for in which when it will be shown, you are going to interpret it in less than a minute, or at least a minute. So, are you now ready? Let's now have the first presenter for today, the first speech, uh, the first one to deliver the speech. We have Ivan. Are you ready? Okay. So, shall we start? I think we have to start with Ivan. Ivan?
Number, yes, ma'am. Number
Yes,
40,
please
ma'am.
choose your phone. Okay, so here's your picture. Your
In this,
time, your time
yes, ma'am.
starts now.
In this picture, we can see an apple and the mirror, and in the mirror, we see an apple that is not bitten, and this photo or image may symbolize eating disorders, and eating disorders are behavioral conditions characterized by severe and persistent disturbance in eating behaviors and associated distressing thoughts and emotions. Some may believe that eating disorders are genetic or what do you call this? Biological. However, in my own opinion, I believe that eating disorders are caused by emotions and such. Because some people think that they have to fit society standards, and in order for us to help people that are suffering from this situation, is we must create awareness by spreading information, and we must stop the stigma that we must fit in the standards of society where you have to be fit and sexy and all that. And that would be all for my impromptu speech. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so shall we go to the next one? Shall we have Francine? Now let's have the second to deliver the speech. Francine Kyle, it's your turn. Please choose your number.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to choose number 5, ma'am.
Number 5. Here's your photo. Once I click this and the picture is being shown, your timer starts also. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here's your photo.
As shown in the photo are 5 women wearing their mask, running around or jogging, perhaps, in the park. We may relate this to the COVID-19 pandemic, since the protocols requires us to wear masks at all times. Wearing masks is an excellent way of protecting ourselves from the virus, and it eliminates all future problems. As a student, we should also follow the protocols in order to maintain a safe environment during this time of the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll have uh, the next one to deliver the impromptu speech. Thank you very much. That is all for today. So I hope you have learned a lot. You have also gained confidence in delivering these speeches, and that the steps that had been presented to us helped us in gaining confidence also in interpreting the pictures. So, do you still have any questions with regards to our topic for this morning?
None, ma'am.
And,
Okay, so I have already sent you your task for next week. And please read this for the rest of the time that we have for our schedule. You are supposed now to read the extemporaneous speech. So you have to prepare, you have to answer the activities that are presented in our learning management system, our GEL. So if you have no other questions, I will be giving you your time to work on your tasks. That is all. Good day. Stay safe. Goodbye.